We on. 5, 4.
Good morning. My name is Shanice, and welcome to my new podcast called Breaking Bread. This is Gordon here. He's going to be helping me out today. You're going to hear a little bit from him and about him. He definitely has encouraged me and has held me accountable. He's one of many to start in this podcast finally. So I'm excited about it and excited to share more about the information that we want to share and communicate on this podcast. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. Again, my name is Shanice. I work at Water Street Mission. Right now I've been in youth ministry for about 9 years, so I love youth. I love the next generation, impacting those who, need good people in their lives. I am a believer. My faith is a huge part of who I am. And as we go through this podcast and different episodes, I'll be able to share things that God has done in my life and how I've grown. But I'm going to share a little bit about some of my passions. First of all, I'm going to share a little bit about my family. I am married to Daquin Hines. His name is AKA Tall, Dark, and Handsome. I don't have a picture of him because they're blown up in my house.
They're in your heart.
On my wall. But I will post a picture of him, and I know many of you who will see this podcast have already seen many pictures of him. But yes, he is a great husband, and we have 2 beautiful brown babies. This is Kyrie and Legacy. Legacy is 3, and Kyrie is 1 year old. They're very happy babies. They sleep well. They're growing too fast. So I am thankful, for that we have 2 beautiful children who bring us a lot of joy, but has also helped grown us a lot in different areas of our life since we started having kids. I absolutely love basketball. Basketball is my passion. I played all my life. I played at Elton Christian High School, and then I went to a community college for a year just to see what I was where I wanted to go. I had some Division I offers and Division II, but God led me to Lancaster Bible College, Division III. Never thought that would happen, but it was probably one of the best decisions that, I have made. So I enjoyed my time there. I played basketball there, and I continue to play with the youth. Sports is a just way to touch youth and build connections right off the bat. I can say my first job, I worked at CrossNet Youth Center, and I gained a lot of respect from the guys alone just from being able to play basketball. So
Giving them the business.
Yes, absolutely. So this basketball is my passion. It has got me through as a child a lot of, seasons of trauma, but it's something that I've been passionate about to just, when I'm playing, my mind, not worried about the outside, I'm just passionate and I love the game. I love watching the game, college, NBA, all of it. Just love basketball. So you will hear about sports in this podcast a lot. With that, put that back for me, Mr. G. Also, I love turtles. I love sea turtles specifically, but any type of turtle. But I absolutely love sea turtles. I got married during COVID. We were supposed to go to Hawaii and swim with the turtles, but we didn't get to do that. So I'm hoping Tall, Dark, and Handsome will eventually get me to Hawaii to swim with turtles. But yes, it's my favorite animal. I like them because, they're hard on the outside, protectors, but inside, they're very soft, gentle animals, and people underestimate them because, their speed, they're like, oh, they're slow, but they're unique, and they're protectors because they're shells and stuff, so I feel like I can relate to that. Also, I just wanted to share one of my favorite quotes. I'm a huge fan of Serena Williams, and just, her platform, how she plays the game. So it says, I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but by how they can recover when they fall. And that's just really important to me. I can relate to that in many ways. Well, we'll get into that as we share different episodes of this podcast. So like I said, this is Gordon. Gordon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and, just your experience with podcasts and how you have supported me.
Man, well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was dope. I've been invited to breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, but this is a different type of meal, breaking bread, where we get to chop it up and
Absolutely.
eat substance that fuels us, our hearts, our minds, and our souls. So thank you for spreading the inspiration all the way around. If this was my display table, this would be a tiger. I love tigers. They're solitary, but at the same time, they're majestic. Tigers are cool. I have a lovely wife, and I have 3 beautiful cinnamon Pop-Tart babies. They're mixed. They don't get the full brown, but cinnamon Pop-Tarts.
Take it. They're still beautiful.
There's a lot of quotes that would be back here. This is a dope setup, though. And I did bring one thing that kind of represents me well. One of my favorite gifts.
Stop it. Can everybody see that? That is a chicken wing
Ornament.
ornament.
My wife got
Keychain
this for
holder.
me. She know what the deal is. Maybe at some later time we'll talk about the significance of chicken and the role it has played in my life and nourishing me and my now Pop-Tart babies. Yeah. A little bit about me, briefly. I enjoy being able to communicate truth.
Mhm.
I grew up in the statistic of broken home, single parent. I should have been dead or in jail, that type of scenario. And through faith and through people investing in me, now I have a voice, and I want to see other people be able to thrive and live out what they were created to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would describe myself as a left-handed introvert living in a dominantly right-handed extroverted world.
Wow.
And God, in His sense of humor, has placed me in front of people for most of my life, and so here we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for, like I said, your encouragement. I think we both can relate in, the faithfulness of God and the people that He has brought into our lives. I know I have a very strong support system, and people who have encouraged me, held me accountable, equipped me, and that's all from the grace of God.
Yeah.
That we are where we are today. We need people, so
That's right.
this is important. I'm gonna introduce another man here that has also helped me, encourage me, told me, Shanice, it's time, let's get it done. His name is Michael, so he's going to join us a little bit, ask me a few questions about the podcast, and we'll get into a deeper meaning of what Breaking Bread is going to be. So come on up, Michael.
Come on up, this producer.
Yo,
Michael, how you feeling, Michael?
feeling good. So, I won't give all the introduction. I got 3 brown babies. That's the most introduction you're gonna get, because I was talking to Shanice and just saying, last night I had a thought, got this thing on my lip, y'all probably see it, right? So I'm like, no, I don't want to be a part of the first episode, wait till my situation heals. And the thought came, she wants this to be a real thing, real issues with real people. And because of my lip situation, I'm feeling like I don't want nobody to see me, you know what I mean? Back, I used to get them and people made fun of it. So it always made me like kind of tuck my lip in, turn the other way. I'm thinking like, yo, I'm gonna go full COVID for a little bit and put my mask back on. But I'm like, nah, like I could get up on here and say like, this is what it's about, just bringing the real to the table. So thank you. I call her the big homie. Thank you, big homie. Just for encouraging me to do it anyway. You know what I mean? I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. So first I want to give, second, shout out to all y'all watching. Thanks for tuning in to Breaking Bread. Keep coming back. It's a to be continued thing. And then just want to say big ups to the big homie, like for doing it. Like that's brave. You know what I mean? Like for me, I want to start something, and it just shows me that I can start. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Now I just got a few questions. A few. All right, so first question, why Breaking Bread and why another podcast?
Yeah, I think first why Breaking Bread was, Actually, a friend of mine, Nina, actually came up with the name. I was in a meeting with her. She's one of our supervisors at Water Street, and I was just saying, like you said, Michael, I want conversation to be real, for people to, be authentic about where they are, where they've struggled, and just so, people need to hear the real. They seek authenticity, but our world is, full of fakeness, or just like, let me just post this, and not like, that's not really what's going on behind the scenes, but I want to look good, make sure I have it all together. But Breaking Bread came from like real authentic conversations, but also like sitting and just talking, eating, maybe have a coffee, something that like you really like, to just a relaxed environment to just talk about topics that can encourage other people, that they can relate to, and just hear different perspectives. We can all learn from one another. I know I love hearing other people's stories, and sharing, whether it's scripture or just like, oh, I've been through this, or I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So that's where Breaking Bread came from. But
so we ain't just gonna be on here with the shiny stuff?
No shiny stuff. And like you said, it takes courage. It took courage for you to be here today with your situation. So no shiny stuff. We're not passing any judgment, but we're here, like I said, to be real, to be truly authentic, specifically where, what God has been doing in our lives, where God has brought us from, our experiences, talk about tough topics like, mental health, trauma, what it looks like to, be a believer in the church, but intentionally, live a life, pleasing to Jesus, even outside when people's not looking, when you interact within your job,
right,
other friend groups or whatever like that. And two, just the fun stuff too of like, sports, family. But there are definitely like topics that I know I have been struggling with in seasons, and I seek, to hear from people and learn, like obviously from the Word of God, but also like I can learn from others, who have been in that situation. And if they're just being fake and, just sharing just all the shiny stuff,
right,
how am I ever that's gonna cause me to, kind of tense up and feel maybe shame, or like, man, is anybody else feeling what I'm feeling? Is this normal? Is it not normal? But like, people need to hear the real stuff. So, that's where it came from.
nice. All right, so here on Breaking Bread, who do you want to reach in this space? Well, you kind of said, but
Yeah, I definitely want to reach all people, but specifically kind of what started me kind of thinking about a podcast is, I feel like I have a story that different seasons of my life that, I've experienced hard things, but I've also experienced great victories, and, have seen God, do amazing things, as well as like I said, bringing community of people around you. So community is really important to me, support system, people that you can rely on. So I definitely want to touch all people, but kind of what started it was me as a young Black mom. I've never raised kids before. This is the first time. I've been learning a lot. There's struggles that I have. There's times I don't show myself no grace because I'm just like, am I doing it wrong? Like, I want to do it well.
right,
But how many young Black Christian moms do I see,
right,
on Instagram or stuff like that? So I find myself looking at these different people on Instagram, and I'm like, I appreciate them sharing their struggles. It's not authentic. I'm not saying it's not authentic,
mm-hmm,
but I want somebody to be completely raw, not just setting up a camera and recording just all the good stuff and being like, I do this, I do that for my kids. Like, we need each other. We need to hear from each other. We need to build each other up, and that's important to me, especially young moms who look like me, whether they're single, whether they're married. I grew up with a single mom, and there's 4 of us, and I can't imagine, if she had another, single parent that can encourage her, lift her up, give advice, pray, just stuff like that. So I definitely want to, reach the young single moms, no matter what their race is, but specifically, I think that there is a lack of seeing young African American moms who have children, who struggle with mental health, who are full-time working moms, and different things like that. So, and also just people within the church in general, people who are doing ministry, people who are not doing ministry but believers who are working in different organizations, and just experiencing different things. And also too, for young people, that's important. That's my heart. And they have different struggles than maybe I had growing up, but I want to be real, because I don't want them to think that I just have it all together. I want them to see that I'm human, and I have a flesh, and I have struggles, but I'm gonna continue on, and I'm gonna do my best to serve Jesus in every way I can, and be a testimony to them, and share the gospel with them in the midst of that.
Nice. Tune in to Breaking Bread for real life conversation. All right. You answered most of my questions. So you can skip it, or nah, it's all good. What do you want people to take away from each episode? Like, how do you plan on feeding them inside of an episode? So we gonna talk about Black moms with kids that don't know how to be moms, support. But when they walk away from an episode, like, how do you, what is your expectation, your goal to kind of leave them with something that's going to give them life?
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of said it there. Like, I don't want anyone to walk away from whatever episode that I share feeling, not valued, feeling guilt or shame for, the way that they feel. And I'm not saying everybody's going to agree with everything that we talk about here, but my goal is to that, people can take away something and feel encouraged to be like, I'm not alone in that. Or, I've made it through that, and thank God, that even with people commenting or, kind of sharing their story, I hope that we can do that after episodes are posted and stuff. But just like I said, building one another up, and whatever you take away of it, at the end of the day, when you're done watching this podcast, I want you to feel seen and loved, and I hope that it can build encouragement for all of us to step away from the expectation of the world, in the sense that, we got to have the most money, we got to look the best, we got to know, like, it's what's inside, true authenticity. And I think people value that, and I think people crave that. And if we talk more about that, of where we are, our shortcomings, our failings, just hard seasons, but also too, not just talking about the deep hard stuff, but like also just sharing, look where I've come from, look where God has brought me from, and giving hope to people that, you can continue on. And yeah, I hope that it can be encouraging and uplifting to everybody watching, no matter if that episode you feel like it applies to you or not.
Okay. How can those guys out there support this right here? So how can they be a support of Breaking Bread?
Yes, that's a great question. I would love everybody's support. Specifically, how you can do that is, one, liking the page Breaking Bread. I will post it personally on my social medias, Facebook, Instagram, but I've started a group called Breaking Bread. So like that, that's where you can see all the episodes. And two, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, I want people to join me on this podcast. This isn't just specifically about me, but like I said, I have been blessed by a great community of people that I have learned from all different ages. You know what I mean? So I think there's people that have much more wisdom to share than I have, but I want us to learn from each other. So if you're interested in joining the podcast on a specific topic, we're going to be touching a variety of topics, but like the page, comment, let me know your thoughts. I want to hear from you guys. Is this helpful? Is it not helpful? But also just stay tuned in. And I wanted to hear, what do other people want to hear about when we talk about authenticity? So you can share that. But the first thing really is liking that page, staying tuned. We will be posting episodes weekly. I'm going to aim for the beginning of the week. So yeah, would love feedback, but please like the page, share with other people. That's really important. And please, if you want to join the show, or if you're like, hey, I would really like to connect with you on this topic, how can we partner in that? Let me know. That's super important.
So I don't know how that is. So it's YouTube. They join the page on YouTube.
So they can join the page on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. How that works, you gotta like a page. So once you like and join that page, you'll see all the updates. So it'll be like Breaking Bread. If you like the page, you'll see all the updates of it. So you could be scrolling on your social media. Oh, I'm part of that group. Oh, I see the episode that's posted. But if you don't like the page, you won't be able to see those episodes. I want to keep it separate from my personal social media pages. I want to save that for when I post updates about my family and stuff like that.
Right.
So I want to create a separate page just for Breaking Bread, this podcast. So like the page, that's super important, so you can get updates and see episodes.
I'm gonna piggyback that. Like the page. You pretty much said every week, early in the week, you want to do your next episode. So that was my last question. And I'm going to just say thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
On the first episode of Breaking Bread.
Thank you for encouraging me. Like I said, we've been talking about this for weeks. Michael, Gordon, I've been sharing my thoughts with my teams. I get the opportunity to work with these two men here at Water Street at Teen Haven Youth Center. So, we're doing ministry together, see each other every day, and it's just been an encouragement for me to share my thoughts and just for them to encourage me. Hey, we got to start somewhere. Mr. G. Gordon told me to, write it down, write them thoughts down. So I appreciate you guys encouraging me, and I appreciate your courage to be here today, and anyone that joins our podcast. It takes courage to share from an authentic place. So yeah, we want to be a blessing to all those who watch, and I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the topics. And like I said, I hope that it is a blessing, to others. So, yeah. So thank you guys for joining us today. Please, again, like the page. I'll be posting our next episode earlier in the week. I'm excited for you guys to see the topic of our first episode. And yeah, if you have any feedback, let me know. Appreciate it. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Serve well, honor God with your words and your actions today, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.